What up, Keyforge? I'm here for a very special stream. Yes, it's round one of the Final Refrain Alliance tournament. And we have MarkH versus Fakey. The tournament started earlier today with Arentalong versus Sydney. Check that out if you haven't already on the Final Refrain YouTube. And yeah, it's going to be exciting. There's 2 more games tomorrow that have already been lined up. Dave C versus X Kicks and Aviator versus Panic. And more games are being scheduled every day, so make sure you check out the Final Refrain Discord for more of the action. And what's up, Cats and Dogs, Snoopy, Cat Marrow? Nice to see you all. Thanks for the audio check. Let's see. Okay. I was hoping to get into taking a look at their decks, but they're in quickly. So let's jump right in. Let's switch over here. Okay. While they're getting going, here, let's quickly take a look. So here is the 32 awesome Alliance players from all over the world. And this is a bracket. We're in the kind of bottom left corner here. The winner of this will play the winner of Rodion versus Cat Marrow, so that's exciting. Mark, of course, the 2024 World Alliance Open champion, and Fakey, the World Alliance top 4. So 2 great players. I'm going quickly through this since they are about to get going. And so what is MarkH running? He's running Coda, Dis, Logos, Mars. We have a library access with lots of efficiency, being able to phase shift into Battlefleet key abduction, and also triple control the weak in Dis. So definitely wanting to key cheat out here. And then Fakey is running Worlds Collide, and he calls it the Hysterical Purger, with lots of purging. Double Infernus with double Hysteria, double Exhume. Can also purge out the Dis with EE on the fringes. Lots of speed in Logos and Starlines with triple Tau Tau, double Com Officer Kirby, Val Jericho, and Science Officer Morpheus. And a Kirby's Blaster too. So that's what we're running. I'm giving them the go-ahead to get started. It should be a very interesting matchup between does Mark get to his pieces first? What does he hold back and as part of his combo so that it doesn't get purged? It should be very interesting. Let's see. And we actually have a deck comparison there with some of the key cards. Lots of disruption with the control the weaks on Mark's side, but then all the purging on Fakey's side. Lots of efficiency on both. And of course, the one key cheat, key abduction, which will be very critical for Mark's chances there. Let me fix my lighting. Okay. So, yeah, we might see some Battlefleet madness. We might see looping Battlefleets. We're probably going to see looping Infernuses with the Science Officer Morpheus. That's super critical, especially for the Comm Officer Kirby efficiency for multiple purging with Infernus. You can also Exhume off the Comm Officer Kirby into Infernus, and getting those double play effects is super critical. So we'll see if that comes early as well. Okay, let's jump on over because they are in. And hey, we got lucky on the placement. Okay. Let's get this going.
Let's play Keyforge.
When 2 of the first 4 decks played have 13 plus of the same cards, you kind of want to root for the variety. Yeah, it's cool seeing Worlds Collide. There's only a few Worlds Collide decks in the whole tournament. Nice to see you, Sydney and Shadow Meld. And MarkH starts out with a Succubus, limiting draw. But we get a Key to Dis and Binding Irons from Fakey, and an Exhume for the Ember. And Infernusing his own deck right away. Is he going to actually hit anything? No. Deciding not to hit anything with the Infernus. And I'm guessing it's okay that the Infernus gets out there because if it gets into the discard, he can exhume it later. Mark comes back with a Positron Bolt and a Lab Work. And Fakey goes in the Logos into a Tau Vapors, getting some efficiency there. And into another Tau and a Wow Wormhole into an Igor. Now we're cooking. This looks to be a very good start. Discarding a Twin Bolt and a Thorium Plasmate off of the Igor. So taking something else and then using the Key to Dis, and then playing a Daughter. Mark plays Ammonia Clouds to take out the Daughter, plays out Zookeeper, and puts a Jammer Pack onto Zookeeper. And then Fakey comes back with Star Alliance. Kirby comes down. We haven't seen the Morpheus yet. And with starting with 9 cards in hand, so might have a lot of choices for the Kirby here. Second Kirby comes down. Let's see if that second Exhume is there. It is. And then is he going to go for an Igor or an Infernus? The Infernus. So we're going to get Infernusing his own deck, taking out the Thorium Plasmate and Twin Bolt Emission. Hysteria to put it all back. Ooh, and then Kirby with Kirby's Blaster on top to draw 2 more cards. What a turn. We're going off. Lay of the Land to look at the top 3, rearrange them, and draw a card. Discarding Red Alert, playing Thorium Plasmate off of one of the Kirbys. Positron Bolt off of one of the Kirbys. Medic Ingram to ward it and heal it, and Universal Translator. And finally, Xeno Training. Up to 9 Ember. What a turn. Popping off a little bit. Mark goes back into Dis, gets out Lash of Broken Dreams, and controls a weak into Logos, and plays an Ember Imp. Let's see, a lot of the Dis or Logos damage is either purged or in the discard. So that Ember Imp might stick around for a turn. And actually, he was time locked, so he goes into Logos and just readies up. And then MarkH goes into Logos and discards 2 Dexters. So, but then Fakey is able to go back into Star Alliance. Gonna get rid of the Ember Hemp here. Reaping with a Kirby, doing 2 damage with the Blaster to take out the Ember Imp, and then Science Officer Morpheus coming down, and the second Ingram now being able to ward 2 creatures at once. So now we have a giant Star Alliance board here, already on the 5th turn, all warded, and check for the second key already. Mark goes back into this, using Lash of Broken Dreams, controlling the weak back into Logos, and playing the Terror and Pit Demon. Fakey playing out Strange Gizmo and a Neutron Shark, destroying his own Strange Gizmo to take out the Terror and the Pit Demon. And because their creatures were warded, able to protect those as well. All right, and getting to check back at 7. Also getting rid of the Lash of Broken Dreams. They're going fast. All right, we're going back into Mars, going for the Battle Fleet, revealing 4 cards, including 2 Battle Fleets. So the second one, though, didn't draw any more. So because the second Battle Fleet is drawing only 3, the third Battle Fleet drawing 3 cards, 6 still in the draw pile, 13 in hand. Doesn't look like he got his key abduction, though, because he is discarding and playing creatures and also playing the phosphorus stars. So he might now have a huge library access turn play for the next turn. Let's see how Fakey will respond. Starts with Bornitch Touch. Ooh, able to purge the library access. Not the key abduction, but getting a couple really key options there from that Bornitch Touch critical, and the Infernus coming down, purging 2 of the battle fleets, and then again, because of the Science Officer Morpheus, purging 2 Control the Weaks. Also using EE on the fringes to purge their own spider. They could have purged Mark's discard as well with that. More Infernus coming down, purging Daughter and Thorium Plasmate, and Key to Dis and Malison on their own. All 4 of those were on their own. Then the Hysteria. This is crazy. And then purging more of their own. Strange Gizmo, EE on the fringes, Red Alert, and Positron Bolt. Really thinning down their own deck. Already purged 11 of their own cards. Okay, Mark finally goes into Logos. Fakey already with 2 keys, 3 Ember. The Time Traveler comes down. That potentially could have drawn into the library access and a Phase Shift. Phase Shift coming down. All 3 battle fleets have been played, 2 purged already, 1 in the discard. Dance of Doom off of one of the Phase Shifts, getting rid of the Morpheus. Scrambler Storm to prevent actions. Help from Future Self to shuffle. Getting Time Traveler back, because it was also killed with the Dance of Doom. Drawing more, playing the lab work. Archiving. Still 9 in hand. These guys play fast. Holy cow. And then another phase shift to control the weak into Logos, and then a Bat Drone comes out. And a Research Smoko, discarding a Dexter. And losing a chain, but only drawing... Did they get to draw 1? Maybe. I'm not sure if the chain prevented it. Fakey comes out, only plays Neutron Shark, destroying Batdrome and Medic Ingram, and Wild Wormhole stops the Neutron Shark. So Mark goes quickly into Dis. Poltergeist for the Ember. Yep. Guardian Demon coming down, and Stealer of Souls. Just playing some cards. Back to Fakey, who goes into disc, plays Binding Irons, plays Infernus again hits his own. Oh, never mind. He hits MarkH, Control the Weak, and Phase Shift. Hysteria coming back again. Now hitting his own discard pile with Infernus to get Universal Translator and Medic Ingram. Yeah, it is a little bit closer to regular Archon. Although there's been some pretty big turns. Mark going into Logos. Time Traveler coming back. Drawing 2 cards, discarding the Research Schmoko and Dexter, and that's it. That doesn't look that good for Mark's chances in this game. Fakey goes back into Star Alliance, finally getting the Captain Val Jericho out there. Medic Ingram and Xeno Training, and when playing Infernus off of the Captain Val Jericho, hitting Mark's Purging Lab Work, leaving him all the other stuff that he doesn't care about. And not quite to check yet, up to 5 Ember. Nice to see you, Astron. Mark going back into Mars, taking his archives, starting with a hand of 9, but no battle fleet. Hadn't drawn back into the 3rd battle fleet, so Phosphorus Stars to stun everybody. He did have the key abduction, it didn't matter. So playing out his creatures, which is just Dominator and Zookeeper, discarding the Garomid. Just waiting for Fakey to finish him. Fakey starts with double Tau Taus and Igor. Might not have any more pips in Logos. Maybe Strange Gizmo? Nope, that got purged. Triple Tau Tau. Quadruple Tau Tau. He's looping 5 Tau Taus. Is he gonna 5 Tau Taus played in 1 turn? Able to play Bornage Touch off of the Captain Val Jericho, and that's game. Okay, got the logs for game 1. Whew, that got crazy quick. Okay. Let me change this here. All right. Fakey getting the first win. Grammys played. Achievement unlocked. What's up, Donus Dad? Nice to see you. Grommet was played in an International Alliance tournament. All right. They're figuring out if they can get a rematch going here. They were playing so fast that he actually hit the rematch thing right away and swapped decks. All right, so that finished on turn 11. That was faster than at least one of the games earlier today. Turn-wise. And wow, they play quick. All right, they are remaking. Cool. Thanks for the heads up, Catmero. I'll let them know. Okay, cool. They're figuring it out. Mark is deciding to go first. All right, we are all set. They had both done rematches before and they both declined them, and so then they didn't have a chance to rematch. Oh, you meant just from where we were here. Yeah, I got you. But luckily, yeah, you can just, there's a slash first dash player and then using the name. All right, on to game 2. Here we go. All right, we're getting some terror value. Turn 1 from MarkH. And straight into Star Alliance Comm Officer Kirby with the Cloaking Dongle and Binding Irons off the Kirby. Getting binding Irons early in both games, which really probably has slowed Mark down from being able to get his combo going. Mark, though, playing Stealer of Souls, reaping with the Terror, and controlling the weak back into Star Alliance. Fakey reaps with Kirby, plays the Tau Tau off the Kirby. Maybe able to draw Lay of the Land, then play Lay of the Land, then get out the Science Officer Morpheus, being able to archive play the Ingram and then ward Chew with both Morpheus and Kirby getting warded. And Cloaking Dongle protecting all 3 of them. Rough start already. Mark goes into Logos, discarding a Dexter, playing Research Smoko, and playing Phase Shift into Battlefleet without revealing anything from their hand. Interesting. Let's see, that was 1, 2, 3, 4. So in theory, they had one other card in hand, I think. But I'm sure they have a plan. Fakey going into Logos. Igor coming down, getting to trigger Igor twice. With the first one discarding Hysterian Spider, and with the second one discarding a Tau Tau and a Kirby's Blaster. Maybe drawing into another Tau Tau, or maybe was already in hand, playing Tau Tau, and a Twin Bolt Emission. Not killing the Research Smoko because that's extra speed for Mark. Wild Wormhole in the Thorium Plasmate. And Strange Gizmo comes down, and then Neutron Shark, using it to get rid of the disc creatures. Discarding both EE on the Fringes and Infernus with the Neutron Shark. Mark still with chains from that early Binding Irons, but Fakey already at check with 7 Ember for key 1. Hey, Atlantis. All right, Mark going back into Mars Battlefleet, or sorry, first time into Mars Battlefleet, drawing 2 cards, then playing Dominator, Mother Gun, and Jammer Pack. Also getting a check and keeping Fakey off a check with the Jammer Pack. Fakey going into Star Alliance, pulling the archives, 8 in hand. Reaping with a Kirby, or sorry, fighting Dominator with a Kirby. Reaping with a Medic Ingram, then playing the Hysteria off the Kirby. Morpheus still was there because of the ward. Val Jericho comes out using the Hysterias to recenter the Jericho, which is brilliant. The Kirby comes back down. He plays Bornich Touch off the Kirby, purging Scrambler Storm. And then playing an Infernus off the Captain Val Jericho to purge a Control the Weak in Battlefleet. And with the second Infernus purging from their own Twin Bolt Emission and Thorium Plasmate, playing an Exhume off the Kirby for the second Infernus, and just self-purging Spider, E on the Fringes, Wild Wormhole, and Strange Gizmo. Discarding Red Alert. Medic Ingram comes down. Second Medic Ingram comes down. Xeno Training is played, and almost all the Star Alliance gets warded with the double Science Officer Morpheus triggers of Ingram, and up to 12 Ember on check for key 1, and burning almost all of Mark's Ember. Mark goes disc, Poltergeist his own Mother Gun, revealing Battlefleet, Key Abduction, and Dominator from hand, damaging the Medic Ingram, controlling the weak into Logos. Fakey gets his first key, already on check for his second key. Igor coming out. Again and getting to use Igor twice. Down to the bottom of the deck. Positron Bolt. Playing the Exhume off of the Val Jericho to get Medic Ingram out there. And then finishing with a Daughter. And at check with 9 Ember for their second key. So Fakey just rolled in. MarkH goes into Logos, Batrone, Research Smoko, Time Traveler, drawing 2 cards, not drawing into anything. Fakey goes back into Star Alliance. Fights off the Bat Drone, plays a Tau Tau off the Kirby. Val Jericho fights off the Time Traveler. Another Kirby is played, another Tau Tau, Lay of the Land, Kirby's Blaster to draw even more cards, Binding Irons is played, Universal Translator is played, Medic Ingram Reaps. Also as a Universal Translator to use the Infernus to reap, reaping up to 11, Xeno Training also coming down, reaping up to 12, check for key 3 at 12 Ember. Mark goes into Mars. Here's the first Battlefleet, showing 3 cards, Goramid, Dominator, and Key Abduction. Does he get anything? No. There's a key abduction. Ammonia Clouds comes out. Doesn't do much because of all the wards. That does get some kills though. And Fakey has won the game and capturing the logs for game number 2. Wow. So, what a couple games. Fakey's the efficiency I think was underrated there in his deck and able to show how fast it could go off. And interestingly, in the predictions, 51 of all of us said MarkH was going to win, and only 10 said Fakey. So the underdog coming through in spades, setting up a showdown in round 2 for the winner between Rodion and Cap Marrow. So getting a good view of what Fakey's deck can do here. Worlds Collide. Yeah, Worlds Collide. Star Alliance is not so fast. Yeah, especially once you get the other Tau Tau triggers. He played 5 Tau Taus in a turn one time. He had tons of crazy Star Alliance turns, getting tons of triggers using the Morpheus, multiple plays off of Kirby's and Val Jericho. Whew. This really wild. It's fun seeing a different archetype type in Alliance than you normally get to see. All right. Oh, finally remembering to change the score. Not that it matters. Well played, the Fakey. We'll be going on the round 2. Let's quickly take a look back at the bracket. We can see there in the bottom left corner there, they'll be playing the winner of Rodion and Cap Marrow. And as I had mentioned previously, if you haven't already, go check out the YouTube on the final refrain, or you can also check on Twitch. Floximal Orion streamed it. A Rent Along versus SC Steel from earlier today was amazing. So definitely check that one out. And then tomorrow we have on the top right side, we have X Kicks versus Dave C. And we have Aviator versus Panic tomorrow. We also have scheduled a lot of the other games are still being scheduled. So we'll see. We'll get them on the events on the Final Refrain Discord as they're scheduled. But on Friday we have Adzi Bad versus Harmed already scheduled as well. The X Kicks versus Dave C tomorrow will be streamed on Lord Judo's Twitch, and we're still figuring out Aviator versus Panic. It might be Astron, but not 100% sure for that yet. Okay, so wow, they played super fast there. I gotta take a breath. Whew. Thanks everybody for watching. This is just the first day in the Final Refrain Alliance tournament. There's a lot more action to come. A lot different archetypes. There's multiple DT decks. There's multiple Worlds Collide decks. There's a whole bunch of Coda. Of course, a whole bunch of Grim Reminders. There's multiple Ember Skies. I think there's only one AOA deck. There's a couple Mass Mutation as well. So lots of real cool stuff. And I think there's one Winds of Exchange as well. So it's going to be fun watching all the different archetypes. Please join the Final Refrain Discord, see all the action happening. And yeah, thanks for joining me for this cool matchup. Before we go, we're just going to ask Christian T. Peterson, what did he think about that?
Whoa, Alliance is awesome. Keyforge.
Well, there you go. Thanks, CTP. All right. And with that, that's our stream. Thanks everybody for watching, and we will see you next time. As always, forge responsibly. Let me get some outro music going, and you all have a good rest of your day wherever you're at. Thanks everybody. See you later. Bye.